Good morning, traders and YouTube. First time being back on YouTube for 2022. Excited to be back and making a new video on the Tuesday outlook and setups. I have a few things planned for this year, a lot of things coming up, so very excited. I'll also be talking short bit about the signal setup room that I've started and launched. It's a new intuitive way of sharing trade ideas and helping people fast track their progress. It's not a buy here, sell now at this level type of group. I'm going to show you just in a bit. But basically, yeah, we'll start off with the morning analysis and see where it goes. So I'm going to start off on EU just because yesterday we traded EU. It was a good day. And I'll just be looking from the 4 hour down to 50 minute and we'll see what we can see from current price action. So just noting from right off the bat that we have this 4 hour order block up here, some imbalance in here as well. And then this is just marking out the previous daily high and the previous daily low. The reason actually why I'm using this one is because there is the new day, and this is all Sunday price action. Well, Friday's price action, and then Sunday bit of price action, and then Monday morning high created, and then the low created over there, and then in Asian session we swept below this low, or we tapped below this low. So that's something to note, which we'll have a look at in just a moment. Just something to note there as well, we have another 4 hour order block down here below. So from a liquidity point of view, where can we find liquidity? Well, it's relatively simple to see, but we have liquidity down here and we have liquidity up here. That is our most recent areas of liquidities. Previous day high, we already swept the previous day low, so what's below that is the order block. So those are our liquidity areas. So in a market that has been moving sideways for a long time, then we have this breakout. There's a push towards the upside. There's a few areas that you can take this swing point from. You can take it from where it started down there all the way to the upside, or you can take it where it initially broke, first breaking of structure. In this case, we can see that this order block falls in a discount, which is a good thing. If we place it on this leg, because you see we had this push up, small pullback, and then a further explosion towards the upside, that then ultimately broke closer to the point that broke structure, this high. And you can see that it already tapped into some of the discount, but also it's obvious to see that this order block is still down there. And then ultimately, if we take this low, this will be then the origin of this big move towards the upside. So either way, we have good reason to expect price to come down into this area and then potentially see further movement towards the upside. So that is just in a short-term intraday level, the outlook that I have and how I'm viewing current price action. So you might have a different approach, but that's just my approach and how I'm approaching things. So now I have my liquidity areas mapped out and spotted now. Now I'm just going to drop down to the 1 hour and we'll have a quick look at what's happening here. So you'll see now in the 15 minute, I had an idea for Asian session, or actually for this morning's trading, but it did not come to fruition. But what's making this a bit complicated is that this is our previous low, structural low, and this move down didn't even break it. We just, even on the 1 hour, we didn't close below it. So it's not a break. So this is still acting as, let's call it retail support. If we can say that, this is still some sort of support happening over here. But if this were a breaking, we would have looked potentially at that area for price to return to and then push down. So this whole Asian candle has made it a bit difficult, but not to worry, we have some tricks up our sleeve on how to analyze this on a lower time frame and get a proper entry. But that is probably an area that we can be looking at for a possible retracement, because obviously on the lower time frames this is a break in structure. Not on the higher time frames, which makes it a bit less probable, but still there is a possible solution. So I do think that this liquidity down here is more favorable, and we also have this small region over here, which I do think is a likely liquidity pull area for me. So I would expect price to potentially make a move somewhere today or tomorrow into this area. hopefully sooner than later, and hopefully it provides us with a very good entry signal. Okay, so now let's have a look at the 50-minute. I'm going to quickly show you what I did expect, what I looked at beforehand. Well, actually, last night I looked at. So if we just put on the 50-minute quickly. Did I turn it on now? No, no, it's on. Okay. So this is kind of the expectation that I had, that we had a structure break over here. We created this very nice area of sell, the origin move. I'm just going to take this away now. Very nice area. Actually, on the 5-minute, it's super clear. If you just look at it on the 5 minutes, very clean area. We'll stay on the 15-minute for now. We had a strong body close below it, then we slowly came back up. We created liquid, and you can see Asian station started pushing back up into this area. And what happened was we just created this liquidity over there. So this is now an interesting scenario. Now we know we can deduce where we can potentially see a high chance of liquidity. Yes, this technically, well, it didn't even technically tap it, so I'm going to keep it where it was. And I do think that this is possibly a play. If we can sweep this liquidity above this high, tap still into that order block, that zone I marked out previously, and then see the move towards the downside. So a lot of things at play, a lot of things potentially opening. So all my ideas currently, they are short based and more short biased. If we have a clean close above this high, so if we have a body close above this high like this, then obviously, and another move, strong move up, then obviously I do think the trend is bullish, and we possibly will see price go higher to fill this daily imbalance, for our imbalance that we have over here. But for an intraday level, intraday purposes, this is potentially how I'm reading it. I wouldn't personally, I don't think I would consider this order block. The reason being, yes, we did break structure over here, but we have this beautiful liquidity above it still, and this one that's untouched, untapped, and didn't see any mitigation yet. So this is more something that I would be looking at. So I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to be still looking at this one. I'll just be making it a different color. I'm still be looking at this potential, this area for a trade setup. Other thing that could happen, we have this leg towards the downside that did break. Well, even on this time frame, we didn't close below this wick. You can see we're still wick below it. So I wouldn't count this. This is not, for me, it's not a swing point. I wouldn't see that as a swing point. Okay, so that is EU for you. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to take this away. That's more or less the setup that I'm waiting for, looking for. Still, a lot needs to happen for it to develop. You can see we have Frankfurt open over there, and then an hour later we have London open. So this is the time zone, the region that I'm looking for price to give us that push up into this area, potentially look for a confirmation or take an aggressive entry, and then look for price to go lower. Okay. So that is it for you. Let's have a quick look at GU. Okay, almost finished. This is GU now. Before you just swipe up to the next video or skip ahead, I'll be talking about the signal setup group and just explain a bit more about it at the end of this video. So stay tuned. On GU, let's have a look. So this is still markups from Monday. So we had this unmitigated 4-hour block. You can see we did mitigate it. We tapped right through it. And we have this daily imbalance in here as well. You can see we kind of reached for that daily imbalance. So we can see that the Asian session was quite busy. For me, it's clear to see, kind of obvious, that price is more bearish on GU as well. So EU, GU both, they feel a bit more bearish. So we could see some more bearish continuations towards the downside. I would love to see this daily imbalance get filled completely. So I would love to see price reach into this daily imbalance. So I think that's, for me, an important thing to look for. Our yesterday's high, you can see it's over there. And then obviously the low has already been swept. So we're not going to mark that out. No, so I'm just going to take this away. This is now void. We only have that yesterday's high over there. Let's just quickly name this previous day high. So we have our previous day high. We have this move towards the downside. So let's have a quick look at the 1 hour. What is the situation over here? So in this case, the 1 hour is looking very good, actually. So we have a strong, clear structure break towards the downside, and then we have this whole origin move up here. So very basic, simple break and retest, higher lows and lower lows. No, yeah, lower highs, lower lows. So the expectation is for price to come up and move down further towards the downside. So very simple, clear to see. So this is nice. If you see price as simple and clean and clear as this, that's very good. So, but we could also just look at the extremes. So that's something that I've learned, is to look at the extremes, because you can see here we also have a structure break, and price did not yet come back fully up. So there's the move towards the downside. I need to get different colors. I'm not liking these colors. I'm just going to quickly make it a bit lighter. I prefer the blue. Yeah, this is better. So you can see this move towards the downside didn't even tap the 50%. So we still have the imbalance in here that's untapped over there. You can just drag this out of it. And then we have this as liquidity above it, like this. So now I do think we have possible cause to go higher than this 1 hour order block. The thing is that this will potentially, we'll need to just wick above it on the 1 hour, tap into this and move down. Because if we close above this high, then the structure has changed. Because you can see that this is our last lower high. There's our lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. So from a structural point of view, if we close above this level, then obviously the structure has potentially shifted towards the upside. So we'd want to see price move up and then potentially just wick above it, sweep these highs, tap into the imbalance, and then drop towards the downside. So first scenario, just into this area and then down. Second scenario is into this area, sweeping these highs and then down. So those are the two possible situations I'm currently looking at. So on the 15 minute, we have still imbalance, so this is good. The time frames overlap, so that's a good sign. We can potentially take that candle over there. It's a whole range, so this range could be mitigated. So just a quick pro tip: if we have a range to move sideways, we have a breakout, we're looking for price to come back to that range, mitigate the range, and then continue further towards the downside. So just keep that in mind as well. So currently looking at timing. So where is our Frankfurt open, and then we have London open, and then obviously around 2:30 to 3 o'clock, around there we have a New York open. So what is the expectation? Obviously, as I've said, price to make a pullback to one of these levels and then move down lower. So kind of these levels, let's go. So the thing is with GU likes to mitigate imbalance, and this we know. So potentially we could be seeing price come up into this area. If we see price consolidate in this area, it's a clear sign that we will see the further push towards the upside, this into that area, sweeping these highs, those highs. If we see it break down, breaking structure, we're looking for the pullback towards an order block, and then we take the trade. So in this case, this would be our trade setup, something like this. So that is then it for GU as well. So I hope you, sorry, I hope that made sense, and I hope you got something from that. So I'm just going to leave this like this for now. So let's quickly talk about the trade setup, signal trade. What was the name? What did I call it? Trade signal room. Setup signal room. Forgot my own name. Setup signal room. Okay, so what is it? It's basically me doing what I'm doing now, analysis, but with charts in real time, giving you the insights that I see and the possibility for trade setups that I'm looking at for the day. Yesterday, we saw this area. Let's quickly have a playback like this. So yesterday we saw this area and thought, okay, potentially we could have a sell from this area. So I'm sharing my setups, I'm sharing my analysis. I'm saying, let's see if we could see a push up into this area after this consolidation and then a move down lower. This is the main target, 50-minute low swing point. It would have then been a first take profit area, this 50-minute swing point. So then we have our take profits aligned, we have our entry zone set out, and then we just wait. I just wait for price and see what's happening. And yeah, I'm saying, okay, if you want to be aggressive, this is where you would take an aggressive entry. If you take an aggressive entry of entry there, stops just above, let's say you take your entry over there, we'd still want to target these lows ultimately. So that would have been more or less the trade setup. So with that, I'm sharing annotations and notes on exactly what's happening and so on. Then we see price push up a bit up higher, and eventually you get this reaction towards the downside. At this point, I'm on the 1 minute time frame, and I'm saying, okay, now I'm definitely interested in this trade. Why? Because we have a strong reaction off of this area. We have this beautiful order block over here. So I'd be looking for price to come back to this area. I'm reducing my stop loss to 2 pips, was 2 pips, I think, just above this high. This is where I'm taking an entry, guys. This is where I'm taking entry. And price develops and it starts to come back. And as soon as it's tagged in, which was there, I'm saying, okay, I'm tagged into the trade. Let's hope for a good flush. And then ultimately, we're tagged into the trade, and then the trade plays out, and we see it going along. I'm telling you where I'm taking profits, where I'm potentially getting out if I'm happy with my profits. But ultimately, the main target stays the same. I've still giving you those targets. I think I got out sooner at 10 or 8R or something. That was over there. Yes, that's when I got out. But if you had held the trade, this would have been your trade. And that is then the setup segment group. I'm not sending you values. I'm not saying entry at 1.00000 and stop loss at 5.000. I'm not doing that. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not doing any of this. I would send setups like I have done here. So I'm saying I'm calling this a revolutionary new way of signals, where you still in control, you still make the decision, and I'm not telling you where to enter. I'm giving you the zone that I'm looking at. You could have taken a breakout. You could have seen this move down, and you can say, okay, well, I want a wider stop loss. So I'm going to enter right here, but I'm going to still keep my stop loss above because I'm telling you where your stop loss should be. I'm going to do that. And if you want to do that, that's up to you. You can do that. You can get maybe some drawdown and then also profit, and you can also be in a winning trade. So it all depends on your style, and I'm just showing you how I'm trading in my style. So I would potentially, what I would usually do is would just put a price label, say that's more or less above the level. I wanted my stop loss to be above this area, and I would put price labels potentially at take profit areas, just that you can quickly adjust your MT4 as well, just to know where I'm heading to. So that's what I'm doing. That's the service that I am providing. So my idea is to get you educated in the sense of knowing how I'm following my thought process, following my why I'm doing things. You're not just getting a signal for a trade without any explanation as to why. You need to understand the why behind it, because otherwise you'll be swimming alone and trying to plotting around alone forever. You need to understand the why so that you can apply the same knowledge to your own trading and eventually be self-sustainable. So that's the idea. I'm sure that some people will be against it. I don't care. For me, it's beneficial for my own trading because I'm journaling my own trades then, because I'm stuck at journaling. I'm very bad at it. This forces me to journal everything, write down everything, and keep track of everything. So in all honesty, I'm doing this more for me than for anyone else. Sorry if that sounds selfish, but the idea is for me to be a better trader, and if I can help you along the way, that is fantastic. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. See you all in the next video. For the community, see you in the chats. Have a great one, guys. Bye.